Hello and welcome to the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta 2021. This will be the first commented video on run number 1, and I know we are about 2/3 of the way through the game. That's just the way I usually run these things. We are looking at Berserker, Dancer, White Mage, Ninja. This is the battle in World 2 with the Seal Guardians, or some people call them just the Crystals. Of course, they have no name on the screen right there. Here is the deal with those enemies. Each one of them is attuned to an element from the top, clockwise from the top: fire, water, earth, and air. Each one has 7,777 hit points. 4 sevens is their hit point total. For the first part of their routine, their script, they just do nothing but physical attacks. They're very, very, very fast. After they go under 3,000 hit points, they go into kind of what we call our desperation mode, where they just spam an area of effect spell that is attuned to their element. So the top one spams Fire 3, the front one spams Aqua Rake, and etc. all the way along. So I'm getting set up with all of my physical and my magical defenses here in the first part of the battle. Image status will take 2 hits. It will absorb 2 physical attacks from them. It does run out, of course. You'll see it's going to run out quickly because, as I mentioned, these guys are very, very, very fast. So once I get all of my defenses up, physical and magical, we're going to start actually going to work on the physical damage. The way to take these guys down normally is to bring them to just over that 3,000 hit point threshold and then try to rush them down quickly. So you don't want to leave them hanging around. You want to focus on one and hurry it down through that script so it gets as few as possible of those area of effect spells off. Now, thankfully, because we have access to the shell spell, we can chop that damage in half, so it's not quite as threatening to have them spamming those spells. It's still not great. You don't want them hanging around, but we are going to be able to take their damage pretty easily. I'm being probably more cautious than I need to be. This was the first roll of this battle, and it was actually the first fight of this battle this year, so I couldn't remember exactly how much the spells did when they've been cut in half by shells. So I wanted to stay as cautious as I could, just to make sure I didn't misremember anything or do anything wrong. The Berserker does have the Doom Axe, so these guys are susceptible to Doom, to instant KO. But their level is very high. They're level 77. And one of the things that gets checked on when you're going to land a spell that has a chance to miss, there's a level-based check. So it's your spell accuracy plus your level minus their level is the basis one. So their level subtracts from your 2-hit percentage. So it is possible to take these guys out with a Doom Axe, although the rate is quite low. I think it's less than 1 in 12 or something of successful axe hits that actually will proc a Doom. So it's not, with this particular configuration, it's not worth banking on that. With some other ones where you don't have the kind of offensive output that, say, a Ninja does, or the defensive output that, say, the White Mage gives, we have both, you can just put an axe in as many people's hands who have equipped axes and just let them swing away. Try to keep the crystal's hit points above 3,000 as you try to land a Doom. Not necessary here with this setup. So as you can see, anyway, we are going on to the first front one there, the Aqua Rake one, the water one. Although Aqua Rake is a non-elemental, it's kind of a weird thing in this game. It's not actually water elemental. So I know that one is pretty close to its 3,000, so I had the Dancer do a dance on the Earth one down there to spread that out a little bit. And I'm mildly hit point counting, but you'll also see me use the scan ability. That's the White Mage also gives you access to the scan, where you can see how much each one of these guys has left at any given time. So the Ninja's going choppy. The Ninja has the Air Knife, and the Air Knife will work on all of the crystals except the back one. So it's unfortunate, just before this battle, you get access to it's called the Air Lance in this translation. You get access to the Air Knife, but you can't use it on the back one because it'll absorb it. So right there, when the Berserker attacks the Fire Crystal, you may need to back this up or just watch carefully for it. When you see the Berserker attack and then pause, that's the Berserker checking to see if Doom is going to hit. So the Berserker actually rolled Doom, but it missed its check to see if it will hit. And that's actually happened a few times in this battle. You can see it if you're watching closely. When the Berserker takes a pause right there after the attack, it's checking. So right there, that damage put this guy under 3,000 health. And then when I saw the damage output, I was like, oh, that's not super bad. That's not too bad, especially because I have access to Cure 3. But I don't even need Cure 3 just yet. I'll use Cure 2 here, which will heal back like 2/3 or 75% of the damage that I just took from that. We still have plenty of hit points to survive the physical attacks and another Aqua Breath. So it actually is pretty fine here. I can keep this guy hanging around for a while as long as I'm healing every turn. Now, these guys are super fast, as I've said twice now already. And they will wear you out after a while. So you don't want it hanging around too much. But even with Shell here, they will outspeed you in the end. So I've got to get my Berserker back up, and she will do the cool Berserker wake-up attack. So when she wakes up, the first thing that they'll do is attack. Berserkers have this, and I haven't been able to find it in the algorithms guide. But the Berserker's ATB works really, really weird. They skip their first turn at the beginning of a battle, and I don't know if that's part of what makes this happen, but if a Berserker is KO'd and revived during a battle, they will immediately attack. They'll skip through to the front of the ATB bar and go for it. So that's just one of their little quirks. So you can take advantage of that, leave a Berserker KO'd, and then revive them right when you want them to attack. And you use that in the Twintania fight, which will be coming up here at the end of the game. When you want the Berserker to swing that Doom Axe at Twintania, but you don't want the Berserker prompting all the counterattacks. So I have access to Cure 2 again. We're going to get everybody back up. I do need to get Image going again, because you can see the physical damage is starting to pile up. And I think my Berserker did not have Shell before the Aqua Rakes coming in before. That was just my fault for not putting Shell on the Berserker there. And I don't know if I actually do get Shell on here for this one, or if we just let the Berserker just eat it. So the Dancer is going to be random. She'll be all over the place. And, of course, the Berserker is going to just be random in who she swings at. The Ninja is going to be the most reliable offensive output. The White Mage doesn't have Holy yet, so there's not much offense the White Mage can do. Mystery Waltz just drains MP. These guys have a lot of MP. I don't know off the top of my head how much they have. Probably something to do with the number 7, maybe 777. And right there, you see it a control error. With my White Mage, I meant to put Image on probably himself or on the Ninja, but the controller I'm using has a not perfect D-pad. And so the D-pad, as I pushed down and execute, I went a little bit too fast. The arrow went to the crystal, and I put Image status on the crystal. Here, I was careful to make sure that it went to my Dancer. So you saw my Ninja there had 2 attacks missed, and those attacks basically were just absorbing the images or taking out the images. But at this point in the battle, I'm pretty confident that we're not going to lose. We're not going to get taken out by any stray Aga level area of effect spells. It's all academic at this point, and just try not to mess up my menuing too much. But with access to Image and Shell status, I'm able to keep the damage low. And actually, I have it on a few characters there. You see my Dancer can also cast some of them. The Ninja can cast some. Or no, the Ninja's using Image, I'm sorry. So it is just my White Mage and my Dancer. I put the Image ability on the Ninja, because I think he didn't quite have the White Magic level up to level 4 to cast the Image spell. Once you have that White Magic level 4, then you'll want to just be using the Image spell. I didn't try here to throw a Fire Scroll with the Ninja. That would have done okay damage, but it's actually a problem. It would have spread the damage around between the crystals, and I don't want that. I want the damage pretty much concentrated on one. But would have been curious to see how much damage the Fire Scroll would do, especially if you have the White Magic ability on them, because that boosts their magic attack stat if you have a magic ability on them. All right, so here's Earth Shaker. This is the Earth Elemental one, and it's just doing 200. I mean, that's not a big deal. I can heal that up with Cure 2. A couple of Cure 2s will do that. So we're going to try to keep the damage going into the Earth Crystal. The ninja's got to stay on the offensive. We're going to take at least one more Earth Shaker. Okay, so right there, the Berserker did not check for Doom there. I'm just watching that. The Berserker stepped up, took a swing, and stepped back without the extra little wait, the extra little hiccup in timing. So no check that time. My White Mage is low on MP. And this can kind of happen sometimes where you're in a state where you really need to be doing some damage. You really need to be getting some damage into these pieces, but at that point you kind of start to run low on gas. You run low on MP. That'll happen in the Neo X-Death battle too. Any long battle like that, just when you start to really get desperate, you start running low on resources. That's okay. And so I do have Shell on the Berserker this time, so everyone's taking about 250. But the Dancer has enough MP to heal everybody up. And so you can see I'm playing this even more cautious than I need to, sitting there healing up during the critical part of the Earth one. Now let's see if my Ninja can take it out before we eat another Earth Shaker. We've taken a few already. But the Ninja's doing almost 1,000 per round with that double attack, which is nice. Nobody knows the two-handed level. Butts is going to learn it here soon. He's going to learn that as we go along. Doesn't know it yet, though. All right, so now we're on to working on the remaining crystals. I don't remember if I go after the air or the fire crystal here to get started. But of course, the air knife does not work, so I think I do go after the fire crystal. So you have to, when you go to the air crystal, you have to switch to some suboptimal weapons, because the air knife is the highest attack weapon you have, but as I said before, the air crystal will absorb air. So it is unfortunate that your best knife-type weapon is useless. Okay, Tempting Tango. Not going to charm the fire crystal. The air knife doing good damage, though, so we're okay with the fire one. And so the miss there is another result of the Doomax being pretty unreliable. So I said it's less than 1 in 12-ish. So there we go, 4,000. So I have 1,000 more to do before the Fire Crystal starts spamming. So the Doomax does have less than perfect accuracy. So even by itself, it does not hit every time. And then you have less than 1 in 12. Before it will actually spawn a Doom proc, and it may be something closer to 1 in 15. And just like that, you can see we did get it to land on the Fire Crystal. Of course, that's totally random. It does happen. I shouldn't speak about it as if it's some exceedingly rare event. It will happen, and you can win this battle with 1 or 2 Berserkers just throwing axes, but it's quite slow. So there is the damage on the Air Crystal, of course, being reversed. The reason it's a little higher is because when you're healing, it doesn't take into account the defense. So that 500 and something damage, that's kind of the base damage of these air knives before defense is subtracted. So here the Dancer is switching out. I've got the Orihalcyon knife. Don't use those very often, and I've also got Dancing Dagger is another one with a decent attack value. So you can see I've got double air knife here, and I'm looking at what I've got. I've got the ninja knife, the Kodachis, and the Kunais. I think are the first ninja knives. And I'm just looking for where I can grab some decent attack value. I did grab an Orihalcyon and a Kunai, which I think is the wrong choice. Although I use ninja knives so seldom that I kind of forget even now which ones are the right ones to use. And this is where I think that, yeah, I think I need to get to another one. I can do more damage with the Dancing Dagger. So there's the Orihalcyon. There we go. So yeah, the Dancing Dagger is better than the other one. And I think the ninja still can do the dance with them. It'll still do that. Okay, 46-62. My pausing is not very good on the timing today, it appears. But I think even if this one starts to spam the arrow 3, which it will when it gets low, I can survive them. This one is the fastest one. It's slightly faster than some of the other ones. So it is the fastest piece. That's why some people like to take it out early. If you have like a chemist and the chemist has access to the death potion with dark matters, then you can cast an undodgeable death spell on these guys. And so some people start with this piece just because it's the fastest, if you are going to use your dark matters that way. And I think by this point in the game, normally you have like 2 or 3 dark matters, so you can take out 2 or 3 of these guys. And there was the ninja attempting to do a tempting tango, so that was the dancing dagger prompting that. And so you can see arrow 3 just doing really poor damage. And I think Shell is doing an even better job than just straight up half, because I think Shell maybe halves the multiplier, and so there must be like an odd number of rounding or something, because I think by itself these guys do closer to 800. So it's almost, maybe it's 600 plus. So I think that there's some funky odd number of multiplier rounding that's happening here, where it's being even more effective than just chopping off the final number in half. Just a stray thought as we near the end of the fight here. There's another mystery waltz from the ninja. It's unfortunate. It voids your entire attack when you do that. It voids the whole thing. But there it is, just a chop from the dancer, 15 AP, and onward we go to the rest of World 2.